So, good morning, everyone. Today we will start with some of the examples of these signals and systems till date, whatever we have covered. Okay. So, some of the examples are from the book Signals and Systems by K.M. Soni, and some of the examples are from the book of Digital Signal Processing by S. Palani. Okay. So, the first question is on even an odd signals. So the first question is determine whether the following functions are odd or even. Okay. So how do we proceed over here? So let's see the question first. Xn equals to sine of 2 pi n. Okay. So let's draw the sinusoidal function. So let's take up the first time period. The first time period is over here in the sinusoidal signal, right? Now, corresponding to this area, where this area is present in the next half, this portion of the signal is present on the negative domain as in the negative domain, right? So this is basically as x of n is equal to minus of x of minus n, right? Similarly, if you look into the other areas, the second portion area, if you look into this area, this is present in the other half, so that will constitute the negative one, and in this area we are having n as the positive, and on the left hand side our n is negative. So it meets the requirement, or it meets this equation, x of n is equal to minus of x of minus n, right? So what kind of signal it is if it follows this equation?
Odd signal.
Yeah, it is an odd signal. So any equation which follows xn equals to minus of x of minus n, that signal is this odd signal. So any signal, if it is a sinusoidal signal, so blindly you can say that it is an odd signal. Now let us see mathematically how we can write this down. Okay. So mathematically what is happening? We have xn equals to sine of 2 pi n. Now we have to find out x of minus n. So what is this x of minus n? We have to calculate. X of minus n is equal to sine of 2 pi n, and this n is negative, so we will get a negative sign over here. So what is this? This is nothing but negative of sine of 2
and 2
pi
pi
n
n.
for our trigonometric classes, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you compare this equation and over here, so we can write it down as minus of xn. So therefore our xn is equal to minus of x of minus n. Okay, so graphically we have seen why this is odd, and mathematically we have now proven that this signal is a odd signal, right? Now coming to the second question. In the second question we have x of n is equal to cos of 2 pi n. Okay, let's again first look into the system in a graphical manner, and then we will go into the this thing, your mathematical domain. So cos 0 is 1, so it starts with like this, like this, like this, like this, it goes on. Similarly in the negative domain, okay, now again let's take up this portion. Say this is not one time period. One time period is from here to here, or you can say from here to here, right? But I'm taking say 1.5 time period over here. So if you consider this half in the negative domain, what is happening? In the negative domain, this half is the red area is the mirror image of the this magenta area, right? These are mirror. Then as we move forward again, this green area, it is a mirror of this one, right? So what is this? We know n is positive in this direction and n is negative in this direction, right? So whatever values we are having, that is going in a similar manner. So we can say x of n is equal to x of minus of n, because whatever we are getting say in the positive domain, in the positive half, the same signal is being repeated over here, and similarly in the negative half also, right? So there we will not have any negative sign over here, so it is following this equation, and hence it is an
Even function.
even equation, right? Now let's see this mathematically what happens over here. X of minus n would be given by cos of minus 2 pi n. This minus comes because we have replaced n with the negative sign. Over here also n with the negative sign we have replaced. However, from the trigonometry we know cos of minus theta is equal to cos of theta, right? Even over here, from here also we can see cos of minus theta is equal to cos of theta. Okay, so in this case it is n, but when you are going for this theta, if you increase the theta, so instead of n you should be having the theta. So instead of n you should be having the theta in this axis. Okay, if you are considering the theta, right? So cos of theta means Here theta is 2 pi n. So you have 2 pi n. So x of minus n equals to cos of 2 pi n. If you compare this thing with our original equation, what we get? We get that this is nothing but xn. Therefore, in this case, we have x of n is equal to x of minus n. Right? And due to this reason, it is an even signal. Now our next question is also from the even and odd signals. So the question is, find and plot even and odd parts of the signal given by x of t equals to, this should be x of n, x of n equals to k into e to the power minus n multiplied by u of n. Now what does this u of n do? We know that u of n is nothing but a step function, and it is present at n greater than equal to 0, and it has a series of impulse functions. So when you multiply any signal with this u of n, it makes it right-handed signal, right? Now let's see how we can get this. From our previous knowledge, we know that xen is equal to half of xn plus x of minus n, right? Similarly, xon, which is the odd component of the signal, it is given by half of xn minus of x of minus n, right? So in this regard, we can say that xen would be half k e to the power minus n multiplied by un plus k into e to the power n, because we are having minus of n. So when we are having minus of n, this would become positive, multiplied by u of minus n, right? Similarly, for xon, odd component of the signal, it will be given by half k multiplied by e to the power minus n u of n minus of k e to the power n u minus of n, right? Now if you see, we have two components in both the signals. If I say this as A, and we have another one as B, right? Let's see how these A and B looks like. Okay, so when we are having un, we can see that our signal is would be a right-handed signal. Okay, so our A component will be and so on. So it is an exponentially decaying function because of this one, e to the power minus n. Okay, and k part, it will give you the initial amplitude, right? Now coming to the second part, we are having u of minus n. That means it is present, the step function is present in the negative domain. That means it will make the signal left-handed. Okay, and in that domain we are having an exponentially increasing signal. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so this joining line, whatever I am drawing, it is just for the sake of understanding. Okay, because we all know that in discrete times we will be getting this only the discrete points, right? So we have the A component and we have the B component. Okay, now if you consider the whole equation, this k is multiplied by 2, divided by 2, and this k is also divided by 2. So our initial starting point is at divided by 2. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to add this up. Okay, we have to add this up. So what would be the initial point now for this xen? If we have to draw the xen now, half of k plus half of k, that is you will be getting at 0 a k value, and then you will be getting the exponential values. So our x-axis is n and y-axis is xen, right? So this is our even component of the signal xn, right? Now what happens for the odd signal? If you look in the odd signal, you are having this positive component, you will be there in this positive half. However, this negative half, it would be in the negative domain, right? This whole part would come in this negative domain, right? And once it is in the negative domain, another important thing what you will be having, if you see the value of k by 2, and this k by 2 also will go to the negative. So at origin we will be having a value of 0, right? So if you plot now, So it will be getting like this. And what should be the height of this one? Initial height, what you should be getting? It should be k by 2, and here k by 2. So k by 2 and k by 2, that gets negated, and this thing. Accordingly, everything gets reduced by half. In XEN, since both are getting added up, you don't see this problem, because it starts with k. At the origin, it starts with k, because both half k plus half k, it gets added up at the origin. But in this case, it is k by 2, because this k by 2 is in the positive domain and this k by 2 is in the negative domain. So that gets reduced to 0, right? And the other components, if you look over here, apart from this origin, these things, all of this would be having the value of something k by 2 and e to the power n, because those are not getting added up or subtracted. They will maintain their amplitude values. Okay, so the amplitude values in this region and amplitude values in this region would be same. Only where we will be getting the difference? We will be getting the difference at the origin values. Okay. So this is your XO n. Okay. So is there any confusion? How things moves when you are having something in the origin? If you are having this even and odd components for the xn, at the origin there is a change in the amplitude values. Okay, whereas in the other it is not the case. Other parts of the n, right? Other values of the n, there is no such problem. So this is how it works. Okay. Now let us take another example of this one. In this case, say we are given with a signal xn 0 for n less than equal to 0 and 2 for n. So this is less than 0, sorry. Okay, so we are given with this one. Now we are asked to plot the odd and the even components. Okay, so how it would behave? So it says you are having the value of this thing 2. Okay, so let's plot the signal. and so on. So this is our x of n and this is our n, right? Now what about our xen? Over here we will be having 2. If you remember the k value, k by 2 plus k by 2. So instead of this k by 2, if you just put 2, so it becomes 1 plus 1, 2, which is the original thing, right? So this is 2, but the other components, it would become 1. So these values would be 1. Okay. At origin, we are having the original amplitude value, and other one we are having just half the amplitude values. Okay. Now what happens in x odd n? Just like in the previous example, over here also, what will happen? This half of this one means 1 minus of half of the negative 1. So that will become 0. And then in the rest of the cases, see, we are having a value of minus 1 and 1, which is half of this one, right? Now here also you can see what has happened at the origin. There is a drastic change in the values of the xn, of the xe and the xo components of the signal, right? Now if you try to add this up, xe and xn, then you will be getting this xn signal, right? Now next is periodicity. Okay, I will draw to the next page. In periodicity, we have seen that capital N, which is the period of the discrete time signals, it is given by 2 pi by omega naught m. Okay. Now if the m is a rational number, then we can say that the signal is a periodic signal. Okay. Now let's take an example. Say we have xn equals to e to the power j pi n . Here, what is omega naught? Omega naught is pi. So if we put this component in this equation, then we get n equals to 2 pi by pi into m, because omega naught is pi. So this gets cancels out, so we get 2 of m. Now if m is 1, then capital N is equal to 2. Okay, so the signal would be a periodic signal. Okay, next is xn equals to cos of n by 8 minus pi. Okay, so if you remember, in our last class we were talking about cos theta plus phi, where phi is the phase angle. So our theta is this thing, so our omega naught is n by our omega naught is this can be written as n multiplied by 1 by 8. So our omega naught is equal to 1 by 8. Now we will put it over here. N equals to 2 pi divided by 8 into m. Okay. So if you sort it out or simplify it, you get 16 pi n. So in this we are having pi in between, so it will not allow the n to be a rational number. Hence this signal cos of n by 8 minus pi, it is a aperiodic signal. It is an aperiodic signal. Okay. Now let us take another example. X of n sine square pi by 4 n. So we have xn equals to half minus of half cos 2 pi by 4 n. I hope every one of you knows how I got this equation, right? So what I will do is that I will represent this half as x1n and this part as x2n. Okay. Now what happens if we consider x1n? We can write it as half into 1 to the power n. Okay. So what is the periodicity? So periodicity of x1n is equal to 1. Okay. Periodicity of x1n is 1. Similarly, let me take the second case. x2n is equal to minus half cos of 2 pi by 4 n. Okay. So what is 2 pi by 4? So it becomes minus half cos of pi by 2 n. Now let's find out n2. 2 pi divided by pi by 2. So this 2 comes up. Then we have m. So this pi gets cancels out. Okay. So we are left with 4m. So if m is equal to 1, then our n2 is equal to 4. However, if you see, we are having two components, n1 and n2. Okay, so for this case, what I have to do is that n1 by n2 is equal to 1 by 4. Okay, this can be written as 4 of n1 is equal to n2, which is equal to n. Now I have to find the LCM of these two, not n1, the coefficients of this n1 and n2 over here, 4 and 1. So LCM of 4 and 1 is 4. So our n becomes 4. Now it is a rational number, hence the signal xn sine square pi by 4 n, it is a periodic signal. Okay. Similarly, let us take another example where we have x of n is equal to sine of 2 pi by 3 n plus cos of pi by 2 n. Okay. In this case, again, this is x1n, this is x2n. So x1n is equal to 2 pi by 3n. So our n1 equals to 2 pi by 2 pi multiplied by 3 into m, which is equal to 3, considering that m is equal to 1, right? Similarly, we would get x2n is equal to 2 pi by pi into 2 into m, which is 4, considering m is equal to 1. So we have n1 by n2, sorry, this would be n2. So n1 by n2, how much we are having? 3 and 4, which is equal to 4 of n1 equals to 3 of n2 equals to n. The LCM and 4 and 3 is 12. So n is equal to 12. Okay. Right. So this, and it is a rational number, hence this signal is a periodic signal. Okay. If you get something like this, then it becomes a periodic signal. In this case, 16 pi n. Okay, n equals to 16 pi n. So this, the presence of this pi, it makes the system what you call this aperiodic in nature. Okay. Now next next question is on energy and power signal. So we have previously seen that if you have energy signal E, then its energy is finite and power is 0. And if you are having a power signal, its power is finite and energy would be infinity. Okay, so this we have to keep in mind. Say x of n, our first numerical, x of n is equal to a into delta n. So we know that delta n is present only at the origin. So we have a for n equals to 0 and 0 for n not equals to 0. Okay, so if I have to find out the energy, because from here we can see the signal is finite, so we can find out the energy of the signal. So energy is given by summation of n equals to 0 to 0 modulus of xn whole square, which is a square. This becomes a square. Now a square, if your a is finite, then it is an energy signal, right? Now next comes x of n equals to u of n for n greater than equal to 0. Now we all know un, which is basically the step function, it is an ever continuing function, so it cannot be the energy signal. Okay, it cannot be the energy signal, and its energy would be infinite because our signal continues. It is not dying down. If it would have been dying down, then it would have a finite energy, but it is not dying down. So hence our energy would be infinite in this case. Okay, now let's calculate the power. P equals to limit capital N tending to infinity 1 by 2n plus 1 summation of, since n is present at greater than equal to 0, n equals to 0 to capital N. Okay, modulus of xn square, we know step function, it is having an amplitude of 1, so 1 square, so it becomes basically 1. Okay, now we know that summation of n equals to 0 to n equal of 1, it is given by n plus 1. Okay, so this part, it becomes P equals to limit n tending to infinity n plus 1 divided by 2n plus 1, and if I take n common, it would become limit n tending to infinity n 1 plus 1 by n divided by n 2 plus 1 by n. So this gets cancels out. So limit n tending to infinity means n infinity 1 by infinity is 0. Similarly, it will be 0. So we will be getting power equals to half. So from here we get power is equal to half and energy is infinite. So it is a power signal. Okay. Now there is a very interesting signal which we call it as ramp signal. Now ramp signal, it is given by x of n equals to ramp of n. Okay, and it is given that for n greater than equal to 0. So what is a ramp? It is an ever increasing signal. Okay, so suppose if you have to plot this one, what you will be getting at n equals to n 0, it is having a value of 0. At n equals to 1, it will be having a value of 1. Then at n equals to 2, it will be having a value of 2. At n equals to 3, it will be having a value of 3. Okay, and so on, it will continue. Okay, so we can write it down that xn equals to n for n greater than equal to 0 and 0 for n less than 0, right? Now what will happen? We can see it is an ever increasing signal. Okay, so if it is an ever increasing signal, what would be the energy? Energy would be the infinite. That also we will look into the thing. So now first calculate the energy. Then first energy is given by limit n tending to infinity summation of n equals to 0 to capital N n square. Okay, but there is an expansion series which is given by n equals to 0 to n square. It is given by n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 divided by 6. Okay, so we are having this one over here. So we will just place this equation, limit n tending to infinity n plus 1 2n plus 1 divided by 6. So this is nothing but infinity. So our energy is equal to infinity. Similarly, if we calculate the power of this signal, it is given by limit n tending to infinity summation of n equals to 0. Sorry, I missed that part. It is 1 by 2n plus 1 into summation of n equals to 0 to n square, right? Now this is equal to limit n tending to infinity 1 by 2n plus 1. Again we will put the expansion formula over here for this one. So it becomes n into n plus 1 2n plus 1 divided by 6. Okay, so again if you put infinity, everything's become infinity again. Okay, uh, because this 2n plus 1 and this 2n plus 1, it gets cancels out, so we are left with only n into n plus 1. So if you put this infinity over here, so it becomes infinity. So our power is equal to infinity and energy is equal to infinity. Okay, so if you compare over here, it does not fall under the category of energy signals, nor it falls under the category of power signals, right? Hence this is a neither a energy signal, neither an energy signal nor a power signal. Okay, then the next question we have, x of n equals to cos of pi by 2 n. Here we will be having p equals to cos. We know that it is an ever ending process. Okay, it is an ever ending process, cos pi by 2n. It will go on for decades, so it cannot be an energy signal, and energy would be infinite. Okay, so it would be a power signal. So the power is given by limit n tending to infinity 1 by 2n plus 1 n equals to minus n to capital N cos square pi by 2 n. Okay, this is given by limit n tending to infinity 1 by 2n plus 1 summation of n equals to minus n to n half plus half cos pi n. This has come because we know that cos square theta is equal to half of 1 plus cos 2 theta, right? So we have just put this formula over here, right? Now here what happens, the expansion of n equals to minus n to n, cos of pi n is 0, right? Why? Can you tell me? Can anyone tell me why?
1 by 2 is a constant.
The thing is that you are talking about adding the values from minus n to plus n, right? One time period. So if you add these values and add these values, these are negative values. So when negative values are added with the positive ones, they become 0, right? So this value, it comes out to be 0. So what we are left with then? We are left with limit n tending to infinity 1 by 2n plus 1, okay, in summation of n equals to minus n 2n half, okay. So let me take this half out. So I will be left with n tending to infinity 1 by 2n plus 1, n equals to minus n by 2n 1, but minus n to n 1, it is given by 2n plus 1, okay. Summation of in the limit of n equals to minus n to n 1, its expansion is this 2n plus 1, okay. So if I put it over here, if I put this component and I replace it over here, then I am left with limit n tending to infinity 2n plus 1 divided by 2n plus 1. So this gets cancels out. So we are left with half. So our power is given by half. So the power of the signal is half and our energy is infinite, because cos signals, they are ever growing or ever continuing signals, right? Hence the signal xn equals to cos of pi by 2n, it is a power signal, okay. So with this we complete the whole chapter, because we have talked about time invariant systems, we have talked about the other thing like this linear and the non-linear systems, okay. So if I give you a question that find out whether the system is a linear system, this LTI system, then what you have to do, you have to find out both, you have to test for both for the linearity and the time invariance,
Time
and if
invariant
it is
system.
both time invariant and what you call a linear system, then you can say that it is a LTI system. Apart from the LTI system characteristics, I can ask you find out whether the system is a causal system or not, and I have told you how to find out the causality of a system, okay. So with this we complete this signals and systems chapter, okay. So in the next class we will be getting into transforms.